prensa de Donadel. Terminó el partido y no hubo conferencia de prensa del técnico italiano.
Que fue ídolo aquí, ¿no?
También jugó acá, sí, es cierto, Marco Donadel.
Fue importante dentro de esta institución que busca. Jesús, es una institución que sigue sacando futbolistas interesantes, que trae y ficha jugadores interesantes, pero que no logra dar el golpe, ¿no?
Y hoy tenemos una visita importante, ¿no?, en el estadio.
Bueno, mira, la verdad, para mí es un...
Nacho Piatti está acá en el estadio.
Cuando vemos precisamente a Felipe Lofoa, cuando hablamos de Nacho Piatti...
líder goleador del equipo en la MLS.
Líder goleador del equipo. El jugador que más minutos jugó en este equipo. Más tiros, más goles ganadores, más partidos con múltiples goles. 135 partidos titular, 66 goles, 33 asistencias. 3 veces jugador del Juego de las Estrellas. 4 veces MVP del club consecutivas. Estamos hablando de una leyenda. Nacho Piatti fue homenajeado el día de hoy. Nacho Piatti no solamente es nuestro amigo, fue nuestro compañero hace un par de temporadas en MLS. Así que un honor compartir y tenerlo muy cerca, ¿no? Le termina mostrando...
Primera amarilla del partido para Víctor Radojevic.
Amonestado.
Nos decía que vino a pasar unos días por acá a visitar a tantos amigos que tiene acá en Montreal. Y aprovechamos también para disfrutar de la Fórmula 1 en el circuito Gilles Villeneuve en Montreal.
Claro que sí, para un ídolo de esta casa, sentado junto a Tomás Avilés y compartiendo con los chicos que hoy no están en la convocatoria por diferentes razones, por lesión, por decisión técnica.
También se está sentado allí en el grupo de los jugadores Unusi Ibrahim, que le dio una entrada a José Martínez que casi lo saca de la campaña en 2024, ¿te recuerdas?
Casi le acaba la carrera, ¿eh?
Sí, tiene muchos recuerdos José Martínez a Unusi Ibrahim.
No los conozco. Buena posibilidad de ahorita con el tiro libre de Montreal, ¿eh?
Sí, señor. Pelota detenida para el conjunto local. Va cobrando la pelota Wiki Carmona. La mete en el área. Carmona, balón por arriba. Carmona, abuso dentro del área. Le rebotó mucho el balón. Aparece Chris Brady. Gran temporada para Chris Brady. Ya para 5 partidos con el arco en cero para Chris Brady en esta temporada. 12 partidos, 54 disparos, 37 salvadas para Chris Brady.
Será el tercer portero de la selección de los Estados Unidos en la Copa del Mundo. Bueno, en la última convocatoria, Pochettino pareciera tener ese plan, ¿no? Que sea Matt Freese. Yo creo que todavía tiene la duda entre Freese y Turner, aunque mucha gente piensa que Freese va a ser el titular. Turner y el tercero será Freese. Hay varias posibilidades, ¿no? Veremos.
8 minutos de la primera mitad. 0 Montreal, 0 Chicago.
A mí me gusta
Hasta ahora ese es el plan, ¿no? Porque
hasta ahora
Freese, Turner y Brady.
Veremos.
La pelota para Haile Selassie, se apoyaba con Pineda. Pineda tocaba el balón ahora buscando a Radojevic. Venía el balón por parte de Joel Waterman. Nuevamente Haile Selassie para Hugo Kuipers. Cambió la pelota para Philip Zinkernagel que le pega por arriba del arco, defendido por Tomás Gillier. Hoy no está en acción, Carlos. Jonathan Bamba, pero qué tridente para producir, ¿no? En la MLS.
Totalmente.
Bamba, Kuipers y Zinkernagel.
Lo vivimos el año pasado, Jesús. Hicimos muchos partidos de Chicago Fire y estábamos hablando de probablemente 2 de los mejores fichajes de la liga con Zinkernagel y Bamba el año pasado. El aporte ya mucho más madurado y si lo juntas con un delantero como Hugo Kuipers, hace que este equipo sea letal en el ataque. El equipo que dirige este hombre, que tiene que estar volando en una nube por lo que hace en Chicago Fire, por el momento que vive su hijo, Sebastián Berhalter. Gran partido hizo el miércoles en Dallas y la está rompiendo con el conjunto de Vancouver.
Bueno, terminó con el gol de la semana para Sebastián Berhalter, con el relato de
alguien, ¿no? Suena conocido el relato.
Como diría ese Martínez, no lo conozco.
6 goles y 7 asistencias para Sebastián Berhalter.
Sí, tremendo.
Mauricio Pochettino, tienes que ponerlo titular en la selección de Estados Unidos.
Falta de Jake Neal, que hoy repite como titular. El cambio en defensa para Ulufua hoy es colocar a Bugay en el costado derecho en reemplazo de Dagur Thorharson, el islandés. Thorharson, que pasó por Orlando, le marcó gol a Orlando acá en este estadio y se lo celebró al conjunto de Orlando City. Dagur Thorharson. Paseo largo el servicio acá por parte de Mbokasi. Se va al lateral. Se va a hacer el partido, minuto 10 de la primera mitad en el Stade Saputo. Montreal, Chicago, semana 14 de la MLS en Apple TV. El príncipe, Prince Ogusu, tocaba la pelota, recuperaba Waterman. Mauricio Pineda se apoya con Hugo Kuipers, toca ahora para Haile Selassie. La termina sacando afuera Matthew Longstaff, otro que está también con un gran rendimiento en los últimos partidos para Matthew Longstaff. Sí. Par de asistencias en el partido contra Portland para el exjugador de Toronto y ahora con Montreal para Matthew Longstaff.
En el historial total, lo hablabas, Montreal tiene la ventaja de 13 victorias contra 11 de Chicago y 8 empates. Último enfrentamiento, bueno, jugaron esta temporada, ¿no? Fue victoria en Chicago.
Partido que hay que comenzar.
3-0, ¿no?
tenía un hombre más Montreal. Le expulsaron a un central al equipo de Chicago en ese partido.
Y lo perdieron 3-0.
Lo perdió 3-0. Y el último gol lo anotó en ese partido al 90+10. Robin Lod. Nos hizo recordar ese partido, Carlos, a uno del año 2024, cuando el exjugador de Chicago Fire, Kelly Acosta, que hoy está jugando en el fútbol de Polonia, anotó un gol también al minuto 90+9. Un gol que para muchos fue de arquero. Aquí con la pelota por el centro, Zinkernagel. Zinkernagel en el área, le pega Zinkernagel, cruzado, abajo, desviado. 0-0, minuto 11.
Bueno, primera gran ocasión para Chicago, siempre partiendo por derecha con Zinkernagel, el danés que alabábamos en una muy buena acción individual. Creo que estaba para tratar de combinar. Se creció y de hecho se lamenta en la acción Kuipers, que estaba abierto, y también la oportunidad que desperdicia con Robin Lod pisando el área.
Ahí estaban cambiados en la posición, tenía que haber estado por el centro Kuiper, pero es que arrancó desde el medio, ¿no? Philip Zinkernagel hasta ahora mejor en el partido. Chicago, Carlos, en 11 minutos.
Sí, ha arrancado bien, ha presionado, ya ha llegado a un par de ocasiones, pero todavía no inquieta el arco de Gilliard.
Y te mencionaba, Carlos, aquel partido de Kelly Acosta en el 2024, un gol sobre el final que fue al 90+9,
sí,
de Kelly Acosta para un 4-3 de Chicago sobre Montreal. Y este año le ganó un partido nuevamente Chicago a Montreal, pero un gol de Robin Lod al 90+10. Centro para uso muy largo, no va a llegar Carmona. Protege la pelota como puede. Acá desde el fondo Víctor Radojevic, único amonestado en esta primera mitad. Es lateral en favor de Montreal, minuto 12. Partido que abre la jornada número 14 de la MLS en Apple TV.
Va a tener partidos muy interesantes. Mañana hay dos verdaderos partidazos y dos reencuentros.
El Sunday Night Soccer.
Y dos reencuentros importantes.
A ver, cuénteme el primero.
El de Neville visitando New Stadium y visitando Inter Miami. También Kamal Miller y Lassiter, que tendrán...
Inter Miami, que no ha ganado hasta ahora en casa, ¿no?
Y que tendrá la posibilidad de buscar romper ese maleficio.
Balón para Iván Jaime, la controla Jaime en el área. Llegaba la marca de Jonathan Dean, es lateral en favor de Montreal.
También la oportunidad de ver a dos de los equipos que fallaron en las semifinales de CONCACAF Champions League, pero fueron los dos equipos de la MLS que más lejos llegaron, que estuvieron a punto de llegar a la final, y dos equipos que están en buena lid, Nashville y el AFC.
Petrazo que se mete por la última línea, buscando por el centro por Loturi. Sacando la pelota Joel Waterman. Zinkernagel recibe la falta. Infracción allí por parte de Brian Vera.
Jesús, cuando te hablaba del récord, de
la serie particular.
Historia de la serie particular en todas las competiciones. Pero en MLS son 10 victorias de Chicago, 13 derrotas y 8 empates justamente antes de esta temporada. Evidentemente la victoria 3-0 es la victoria número 11 en el historial entre ellos.
Montreal consiguiendo 10 triunfos en condición de local frente al equipo de Chicago Fire, y el Fire solamente ganó acá 3 partidos de visitante. Haile Selassie con el centro. Ahí el rebote le está quedando a Kuiper, se aparece Zinkernagel, que le pegó abajo, la metió. ¡Balón adentro, gol! ¡Gol de Chicago Fire al minuto 14! Apareció por el centro Philip Zinkernagel. Le pega con potencia para vencer a Tomás Girier. La pelota al fondo del arco, y ahora en la primera mitad con el quinto gol de la campaña para Philip Zinkernagel se pone a ganar Chicago Fire 1-0 frente a Montreal.
Mira, cuando uno le toca analizar una jugada como esta, tiene dos vertientes. Una, por supuesto, felicitar a Jesús, la gran jugada colectiva, el gran pase largo, Haile Selassie para entregar el balón, y la paciencia para que Kuipers aguantara la pelota y Zinkernagel definiera. Es el quinto de la temporada. Pero aquí lo que llama la atención es la pasividad de la defensa de Montreal, porque no fue bueno el pase de Haile Selassie, fue un rebote y nadie fue capaz de despejar. Y en ese momento, donde quedó el balón prácticamente rifado, Jesús llega solito en el área para definir. Así que, muchachos, hágase famoso.
Y un buen movimiento sin pelota de Kuipers.
Por eso, ese movimiento, que es extraordinario, deja completamente mal colocado tanto a Vera como a Neal, que quedan señalados. Jesús, no tienen capacidad de reaccionar ante esa jugada.
Quinto gol de la campaña para Philip Zinkernagel. Se pone a ganar Chicago Fire 1-0 frente a Montreal, con el tanto de Philip Zinkernagel.
Ya quinto para, insisto, uno de los fichajes claves de
5 goles y 5 pases de gol en la temporada para Zinkernagel.
Fenómeno para el futbolista danés, que ya el año pasado nos dio una muestra, ¿no?, de lo que podía hacer en esta liga. El año pasado fueron 16 goles, Jesús, y 3 asistencias, hablando de todas las competiciones, ¿no? Para Zinkernagel. ¡Qué debut!
Saca la pelota desde el fondo Bugay. Se le fue el balón acá a Waterman y se escapa con la pelota Carmona. Se barre con todo. Ven allí en Bocassi. De Geseli Bocassi, 20 años. 1-0 está ganando Chicago a Montreal. Con el gol anotado por Philip Zinkernagel. Y esta es la probabilidad de ganar. ¿Cómo está ahora?
Bueno, creció mucho para uno de los mejores visitantes de la liga. Decíamos 66.9%, 13.1 para Montreal y 20.0 el empate. Queda mucho partido y la casa en Montreal se respeta. Yo insisto con la pasividad y el gran movimiento de Kuipers sin pelota para que Zinkernagel definiera de gran manera.
Chicago le ganó los 2 partidos el año pasado a Montreal y le ganó ya el primer compromiso de este año, el pasado 28 de febrero, 3-0.
Sí, señor. Y se fue expulsado. Justamente el defensor de Chicago.
Cortó una opción manifiesta de gol en ese momento y se ganó la roja directa para Jonathan Dean. Jalen Neal busca a Wiki Carmona. Nos decía un Lufua cuando le preguntamos el trabajo de Wiki Carmona y él decía que él se sorprendió cuando llegó Carmona al equipo y por qué lo había dejado salir el equipo de los Red Bull. Por él, los Red Bull recibieron a Jaquil Marcharuti de Montreal y Carmona pasó al conjunto de Canadá y Ulufá habla maravillas del trabajo que hasta ahora has tenido en la campaña para Wiki Carmona. Buen balón ahora para Prince Ogusu. El príncipe Ogusu corta la pelota en Bocassi, tiro de esquina en favor de Montreal. Primer tiempo lo gana Chicago, 1-0 Montreal.
Qué peligro por ese costado izquierdo, otra vez para buscar a Prince Ogusu. Y yo tuve la posibilidad, Jesús, de preguntarle a Marco Donadel ya hace algunas cuantas semanas, cuando estaba al frente previo al partido frente a New England por Carmona, porque venía de debutar Wiki con la selección de Venezuela de Osvaldo Vizcarrondo, y decíamos, gracias al gran trabajo que había hecho en Montreal, le valió el llamado a la selección de Venezuela, algo que parecía antes completamente imposible de la mano de el Bocha Batista.
Pobre Iván Jaime, balón por arriba, saca bien, Haile Selassie, anticipa Pineda, y arranca la contra por parte de Chicago Fire, pero llega la recuperación a última hora por parte del español Iván Jaime, dejando para Víctor Loturi. Gol de Zinkernagel, su quinto de la campaña, lo gana Chicago Fire. Con 24 goles, la séptima mejor ofensiva de la liga. 15 goles en contra para el Fire, la quinta mejor defensa para el conjunto de Gretel Harter. La próxima semana enfrenta a Toronto en condición de local y luego del Mundial a Vancouver de local. El 16 de julio, el 22 de julio a Inter Miami de visitante. Y el 25 de julio a New York City también de visita. Pero eso ya será después de la Copa del Mundo.
Sí, ya estamos a puertas de la Copa del Mundo con estas dos fechas, con esta fecha 14 y por supuesto la fecha 15 la próxima semana.
Matthew Longstaff deja para Luca Petrasso. Petrasso. Cambio Petrasso para Brian Vera. Gol de Zinkernagel tiene adelante al cuadro visitante hoy. Tiene en la campaña 2 victorias, 2 empates y una sola derrota jugando en la carretera. Que hay contacto de Bugay. El arbitraje hoy es de Fotis Basaco, su octavo partido de la temporada. Tiene ya 33 amonestados, como el de hoy son 34. Ningún expulsado por doble amonestación, 1 por roja directa y 3 penales para Fotis Basaco. Con Basaco siempre pasa algo, siempre hay alguna polémica. El árbitro del partido donde Luca Gabrán anotó el gol del 3-3
era Fotis Basaco. En Toronto, ¿no?
Sí, señor.
Bueno, ha quedado mal allí. Vamos a ver la repetición y fue exactamente lo que pasó. Y como Kuipers, ojo que no para de retorcerse y el gesto de dolor de Kuipers, que me parece que en algún momento va a tener que ser asistido, ¿no?
No llega la asistencia para Kuipers. Lo gana Chicago 1-0. Con gol de Philip Zinkernagel. Esta repetición exclusiva de nuestra cámara de arco es traída a ustedes por AT&T.
Bueno, y esta es la acción anterior al gol de Zinkernagel, que por cierto, Jesús, llega a su contribución número 40 en MLS. Son 20 goles y 20 asistencias desde que aterrizó la temporada pasada en el conjunto de Chicago Fire. Su tanto número 20 en 45 partidos de MLS. Si sumamos, son 45 apariciones con la de hoy, 20 goles y 20 asistencias. Te lo firmo ya, jugadorazo.
Además, antes de la fecha es el quinto en la liga con mayor cantidad de disparos. Antes del partido de hoy con 43 para Philip Inkernaget. Pelota larga para buscar a Prince Ogusu. Ogusu marcado por Embo Kasi. Mete el centro Ogusu lateral. Además tiene 4 partidos seguidos con al menos un pase de gol para Philip Inkernaget en esta temporada del 2026 para Philip Inkernaget.
La verdad que son números enormes.
Prince Ogusu pasó por Toronto.
Nació en Alemania, decíamos.
Sí. Hizo el mismo recorrido de Matthew Longstaff, ¿no? De Toronto a Montreal.
Stuttgart.
Hoffenheim, ¿no?
Paderborn, Hoffenheim, Rosenborg. Para el futbolista que llegó en 2023 a Toronto, ¿no?
La Fórmula 1 llega a Montreal con el Gran Premio de Canadá en el icónico circuito de Gilles Villeneuve. Drama, pasión y acción, rueda a rueda en un circuito donde los pilotos también enfrentan el temido muro de los campeones. No te pierdas la carrera el domingo 24 de mayo, vivo por Apple TV. El nuevo hogar de la Fórmula 1 en Estados Unidos. El cierre a última hora por parte de Embo Kasi.
Allí estuvo Embo Kasi para salvarla, Jesús.
Sí.
Y enviarla al tiro de esquina. Respire, respire. Qué buena posibilidad.
Gracias, Embo Kasi.
Estaba allí relamiéndose en el área Prince Ogusu. También estaba Matthew Longstaff. Pero extraordinario lo de Embo Kasi para enviarla al tiro de esquina. Habrá oportunidad para tratar de explotar a los más altos, ¿no? A los que pueden ir por arriba. A ver si va el primero o el segundo palo.
Centro de Jaime, el tiro de esquina. Sacaba a Pineda, recuperó la pelota. Piet la va perdiendo. Recupera nuevamente Iván Jaime. La marcación de Maren Haile Selassie. Otra vez para Sam Piet. Otro referente de este equipo, ¿no? Samuel Piet. Llegando a 220 partidos con la camiseta de Montreal en la MLS para Sam Piet. Con 31 años, su 10º partido de la campaña, 6º como titular. 220 juegos para Samuel Piet. Falta en la mitad del campo que indica el principal del compromiso, el señor Fotis Basacos. Y ya llega con esta presentación de hoy Piet no solamente a los 220 partidos en la liga, sino se convierte en el 4º jugador.
Además habla francés y habla inglés.
Sí, señor.
De manera correcta. Estará en el equipo de Jesse March en la lista final. Hay lío en Canadá. Ya estaremos hablando de eso con Alfonso Davis y el Bayern Múnich.
Haile Selassie recibía la pelota de Waterman, corta Bugay, la tiene el príncipe Prince Ogusu, cambia el balón ahora para Luca Petrasso, arranca Petrasso, se va Petrasso, 25 años para Petrasso, la tiene Luca Petrasso, Iván Jaime, el español por el costado, Jaime, la tiene Jaime, se apoyaba ahora con Petrasso, la tiene Petrasso, marca Jonathan Dean, devolución para Matthew Longstaff, otra vez para el español que quiere salir por el medio, no puede, y en la marca por parte de Pineda que roba bien la pelota y se escapa ahora con el balón, se barre con todo, robó la pelota limpiamente Piet, corta allí por parte de Piet. Petrasso levanta el centro, balón al segundo palo. Ogusu que la metía por el medio cuando la entrada de Lotur y sacó Jack Elliott. Es otro experimentado en la liga, ¿no? Ex jugador de Philadelphia Union para Jack Elliott.
Y que fue clave en el equipo que disputó la final de la MLS en el 2022.
Contra el AFC.
Sí, señor. Y que
Jim Curtin.
Que fue uno de los equipos que bueno,
perdieron en penales,
de la
¿no?
liga. Claro.
Perdieron en penales.
Y que a partir de allí se empezó a romper lo que había construido Jim Curtin.
Saca la pelota en Bocasi. Hoy llega Jack Elliott, Carlos, a 277 juegos en la liga.
No, es un fenómeno.
Para Jack Elliott con 30 años, ex jugador de Philadelphia Union y ahora con Chicago Fire para reforzar la defensa del conjunto de Greg Belharter, que metió el año pasado el equipo en los playoffs. Hay problemas para Piet.
Algo le estaba reclamando a Fotis Basakis y dijo, ya va. Sacos dijo, vamos a aguantar, todavía no se cobra el lateral.
El primer partido de Montreal en la historia de la MLS lo jugó el marzo del 2012, 17 de marzo, empate a 1 contra Chicago Fire. Su primer compromiso en la historia de la liga para Montreal contra el Chicago Fire. Protocolo de conmoción está aplicando acá el principal Basacos. Creo que fue por la entrada que le dio Piet, ¿no? A Pineda.
Sí, y por eso decidió Fotis Basakis. Entonces, que Fotis Basakos, que hay que aplicar, como tú bien dices, Jesús, el protocolo de contusión.
Juego detenido en el minuto 25. Lo gana Chicago Fire a Montreal 1-0 con el gol de Philip Zinkernagel. El único tanto hasta ahora en la primera mitad. Partido donde Montreal no consigue espacios. No ha tenido hasta ahora una oportunidad clara frente al arco defendido por Chris Brady. Se mueve el banco ya de suplentes de Chicago. Y no te pierdas la oportunidad de ver las estrellas más grandes de Norteamérica en el MLS All-Star Game 2026 presentado por Shine en Charlotte el 29 de julio, cuando las estrellas de la MLS se enfrenten a las estrellas de la Liga MX. Boletos ya a la venta en mlsoccer.com/All-Star. Lo veo por allí, Carlos, en Montreal.
Yo el que veo es el que tenemos en pantalla, Hugo Kuipers.
Ya
ese lo veo.
¿Ya votó usted?
No he votado aún, estoy esperando un poquito. Zinkernagel también me gusta. Creo que puede ser dos buenas alternativas de futbolistas que están hoy en cancha. Pueden ser jugadores elegidos para ese juego de las estrellas en Charlotte. Bueno, vamos a ver la jugada del gol, ¿no? Y cómo se termina gestando lo que hablábamos del movimiento de Kuipers arrastrando marca. A mí lo que, insisto, me llama la atención, porque a Vera no le puede... Vera fue el único que fue en esta acción a buscarlo, pero la pasividad de Neal y hasta del propio Petrazo, que podía ayudar, creo que es lo que termina pesando, ¿no? La pasividad. Tuvo mucho tiempo. Zinkernagel llegó con todo el tiempo del mundo, con el balón.
Y el tiro al final se le fue abriendo, ¿no? A Tomás Gillier.
Sí. Muy bien ejecutado por parte de Zinkernagel, ¿no?
Casi media hora de la primera mitad. Se llega a un costado del campo a Mauricio Pineda, otro jugador formado en el equipo de Chicago Fire. 28 años para Mauricio Pineda. Pues llega a 160 partidos en la liga. Su octavo de la campaña, cuarto como titular en esta temporada para Mauricio Pineda.
Bueno, es que hace la carrera según las indicaciones del médico. El médico es el que autoriza.
Aquí con el momento que cae. Ahí es el golpe que sufre en la cabeza para Mauricio Pineda.
El médico todavía no autoriza a que ingrese, y hay un fuerte intercambio con Berhalter, con todos. Él ahora se encarga de verificar que todo esté bien, y entonces allí, ahora es que recibe la autorización.
Con uno menos en este momento en cancha Chicago, pero no, ya volvió a la cancha Mauricio Pineda. Se juega el minuto 28 de la primera mitad. 1 para Chicago, 0 para Montreal. Gol de Zinkernagel. Vera va con Petrazo, falta contra Luca Petrazo, nos señala Fotis Basakos. Le entraron fuerte aquí por parte de Jonathan Dean. Le dieron un regalito a Petrazo, otro que pasó por Toronto, también por Orlando. 11 partidos en la campaña, todos como titular para Luca Petrazo, llegando a 82 juegos en la liga. Par de goles, 9 asistencias para Luca Petrazo en su historia en la MLS.
Que se quedó también con esa posición de lateral por izquierda, que tiene mucha proyección, pero que, insisto, en la jugada del gol queda retratado.
¡Cobra Jaime! Arriba el corte fue de Kuipers. Kuipers no solamente es el líder goleador de la liga en los goles esperados, en la expectativa de goles, es el líder también dentro de la liga con 10.42 allí para Hugo Kuipers. Frente también de ese departamento para Hugo Kuipers. 10.42 la expectativa de gol o los goles esperados este año para Hugo Kuipers. El goleador de la MLS. Pero hoy el goleador de Chicago es Philip Zinkernagel. Jalen Neal dejó para Víctor Loturi. Loturi, nacido en Canadá, pero con familia de Sudán del Sur. Montreal, por cierto, va a estar disputando, Carlos, la siguiente fase de la Copa de Canadá, el campeonato canadiense. Venció al Calgary 5-0. Ese es uno de los partidos que abrió también Dani Ríos.
Correcto.
Donde marcó gol. Es parte de los 3 partidos seguidos donde Ríos marcó. Allí también anotaron gol Losenkovic, Wiki Carmona, Iván Jaime, Amaya, que está con el equipo ahora. Se queda la defensa acá, tiene que llegar a última hora Piet para cortar ese balón. Cuando se duerme la defensa de Montreal, empujaron acá claramente a Carmona. La falta de Víctor Radojevic. Y van a enfrentar después de superar al Calgary en la Copa de Canadá, al Vancouver, pero no el Vancouver Whitecaps, al otro Vancouver, el que juega en la Liga Premier de Canadá el 8 de julio.
Así que habrá tiempo, ¿no? Para preparar
el pleno mundial.
El pleno mundial.
O finalizando ya la Copa del Mundo.
Bueno, en la frontera, ¿no? Entre cuartos y semis, ¿no?
Sí.
De la Copa del Mundo. Hablas de Kuipers y ese momento fantástico que vive el belga. Bueno, para eso lo trajeron, ¿no? Fue goleador.
Kuipers para Robin Lod. Sigue Lod, mete el centro. La pelota le queda en el área. Kuipers saca la pelota a la defensa. Le pega desviado Robin Lod. La va alcanzando Zinkernagel. Mejor el corte y el cierre y la salida de Petrazo. Iván Jaime. Arranca el español. Era bien allí Iván Jaime. Avanza con la pelota. Su primer gol en la MLS lo anotó en aquel partido contra Philadelphia Union para Iván Jaime. Un jugador que hasta ahora, a pesar de los pergaminos que tiene, ¿no? De la clase, de la calidad, no termina de explotar todo su talento en la MLS para Iván Jaime.
Aquí lo tienen. A mí me gusta, me parece que es un buen futbolista, pero estoy contigo, no termina de explotar. Y aquí la prensa de Montreal no para de alabarlo, ¿no? Y de tener confianza porque sabe que la calidad que tiene. Pero hoy es un futbolista que se le ven esas maneras, Jesús, distintas, pero no a nivel de números, no tiene números mejores ni que Willy Germona,
no,
por ejemplo, ni que Prince Ogusu, y hasta me atrevo a decir que hasta el propio Matty Longstaff.
Sí, Longstaff tiene en esta campaña ya 2 goles y 3 pases de gol para Matty Longstaff.
Yo sé que no todo es números,
sí,
pero
sí,
también y se le ven esas maneras de futbolista que se nota superior, que es futbolista élite.
Bueno, pero a él no se le está pidiendo que marque goles, ¿no? Para eso está Ogusu, pero que sí que genere las situaciones.
Totalmente.
Radojevic que la metió al medio. Ahí la dejaba pasar Kuipers para la entrada acá, tanto de Robin Lod como de Zinkernagel. Lod tiene esa máscara, Carlos, porque le dieron una patada en el partido contra Cincinnati. Y por eso usa esa protección en su rostro para el exjugador de Minnesota United. Qué calidad de refuerzo tuvo Chicago, ¿no?
Totalmente.
Con Robin Lod.
Y te digo algo, yo creo que lo echan de menos en Minnesota, que a pesar de que tuvo la participación, podemos evaluar después o debatir si positiva o no positiva de James Rodríguez. Lod creo que cumplía un rol importante en las últimas 2 campañas en el equipo de Minnesota y aquí puede aportar y sumar mucho.
Waterman que la metía por el centro, saca Jalen Neal. Cierto que juega este fin de semana y se va, ¿no? James Rodríguez.
No, ya, listo. Ya está rumbo a la concentración de la Selección Colombia, Néstor Lorenzo. El permiso era, o el club le dio permiso para viajar después del miércoles. Jugó el partido frente a Colorado Rapids, tuvo un partidazo, pero el equipo perdió. Para el futbolista que veremos si vuelve o no a la liga, si vuelve o no a MLS, hay una opción para que vuelva después de la Copa del Mundo y continúe en Minnesota United. O te digo algo, Jesús, aparezca la posibilidad de ir a otro equipo.
Yo creo que no regresa a Minnesota United. No sé qué información tiene usted, Carlos.
Yo creo que la puerta sigue abierta, pero, y esto es opinión, no información, de que puede haber otro equipo interesado en MLS en traerlo a la Copa del Mundo, ¿no? Lo poco que demostró la calidad que tiene.
Behind Owusu, though. Carmona. Guy. All the way through, and Petrasso missed the pass. Kept alive. Would have gone to Chicago had he not been there in time. Long step. Staying with back post. It's all red shirts on the back post, though. And Montreal's build is for naught once more. The player comparison is presented by Celsius. Pure passion and maximum energy with 0 sugar. It's Wiki Carmona versus Philip Zinkernagel. Both have been involved. Double digits there for touches. Zinkernagel with the most meaningful of all, though, of course, the one in the back of the nets.
Yeah, and he's always effective, Zinkernagel. Every time he gets on the ball, he has an effect. For 90 minutes as well, usually. Wiki Carmona with a nice little ball through to try to affect that last build for Montreal, but Chicago sitting very deep, and that's been an issue for CF Montreal this year, trying to break down a lower block, and especially with that lead, Chicago can afford to do that, and they can afford to do this as well, wait for the moments to play out.
6 wins on the season for Chicago, into the top 4 in the Eastern Conference. They don't necessarily dominate a match like some of the Western Kingpins or like an Inter Miami, but they're getting the job done, and they seem to, Greg Berhalter, you expect that. A good organization, good structure out there, and they seize the moments, don't they?
And that front line means that you're always going to get attacking opportunities. And so not afraid to rely on that. Their expected goals is second best in MLS. And if they can get that defensive stability that he's looking for, and it seems to be coming good in the last couple of games anyway.
A big sweeping leg by Samuel Piet, and he goes into the book.
Right through Zinkernagel there. No question about that card.
And a free kick from a decent spot now for the roadside.
And Sammy Piet perhaps thinking, I'll do the same thing I just did to win that challenge against Pineda. He goes in heavily, but the follow through takes down the Chicago number 11, and that's a free kick opportunity that Zinkernagel will take himself.
Zinkernagel on the right foot. Going back post, Elliott is there. Puts it back towards the spot, but it won't get a chance to load up as the flag's up.
6'6" Jack Elliott at the back post. That's always a good target. Not to try to score from outside beyond the post, but to knock it back in. But a little shove off there. Referee spotted it.
And blink and we're into the 38th minute already here at Stade Saputo. And it still feels like Montreal's trying to find itself here, despite all this possession.
I think you'd like to see the energy levels lift just a little bit. I agree with you that it's a bit very slow and methodical. And there's another giveaway as well.
Long step right into the feet of Waterman. Haile Selassie Kuiper's a little off balance. Now tries the right foot and nearly able to catch Gillier leaning the wrong way.
And I was going to say, too, that Matty Longstaff is a player that CF Montreal needs to kind of bring that leadership and energy, and it's his poor giveaway as he gives the ball away in central midfield, tries to recover there and get in a position where he can help out defensively, but Gillier had that one covered easily.
Well, guide to Piet on the one touch. Waterman heads it right back to Haile Selassie. Lud sends Haile Selassie into space, charging towards the corner of the box. Haile Selassie, 1v1, dribbles to the edge of the area. Quick touch towards goal, but well off the mark. It's off a Montreal body, so it's a corner kick here for Chicago.
And Chicago very good in defensive transition. Whenever they win the ball back, Haile Selassie quick to get 1v1 against Neal here. Cuts inside, looking for the opening. And Neal is able to recover, but give away the corner kick. And David Bugay has been caught out a couple of times for CF Montreal. Caught forward, the fullback for Montreal. And the space is open up down the left side for Chicago Fire.
Corner kicks have basically been non-events for both of these teams, for and against. They don't concede, they don't score, really, out of the corner. Can Chicago begin to change that? Just one on the season thus far. And Fotis Bazakos is in class inside the 6-yard box.
The players know. The players know what they can and can't do. Why we need these lessons every game, I'm not so sure, but
it's pretty crowded inside the 6, too. Zinkernagel. It's back post. Gillier reaches up and nearly toppled over as he caught it. Petrasso is into some defending from Lug. Now Piet in a load of space. Bugay able to run onto it. Neal for Piet. A little bit of interplay there and on to Brian Vera, who will push forward. Vera showing some aggression, but he too gives it away. Waterman, right place, right time a couple of times for the Canadian.
Yeah, it's very sloppy for Montreal, trying to play out of the back.
Neal.
And Chicago's just waiting for it, sitting in positions where they're not having to really challenge Montreal. It's not that it's a turnover that's been forced by high pressure in any way.
Piet, just a misfire. And it's Chicago ball along that far touchline. These are the team benches built by the Home Depot. And for Montreal, some options for sure, particularly if you're in the mood for some young players to see some action. And Daniel Rios, of course, is on a heater. 3 goals in 3 straight games across all competitions for Daniel Rios. And for Chicago, the veteran presence of Chris Mueller and Edric Gutman. But everybody else pretty green, and we talked about the Fonpuso Dite Jean, who will undoubtedly see something in the second half, charging forward. Radojevic has Kuipers as an option, a little bit behind the striker. Gets it through to Zinkernagel. Off a couple of bodies. And it ends up as a goal kick for Montreal. That one had danger written all over it.
Again, though, it comes from a Montreal turnover. They are so sloppy in their own end. And it means they're caught out coming back the other way. And Samuel Piet again able to help clean things up as it ends up coming off of Zinkernagel. The goalkeeper does a decent job to make it difficult as well, closing down the angle.
Vera easily sent back the right direction for Jack Elliott. Loose ball there, Jaime.
You talk about some of the lack of effectiveness, especially here today. Wiki Carmona, just those 10 touches we saw a moment ago. Yvonne Jaime on the other side with the ball right now. Very few touches as well.
He just collided with Pineda, who's been in the mix quite a bit. And Jaime slow to get up. He is now to his feet, though. Haile Selassie. Carmona in front of him. Waterman. Bukazi. Elliott for Waterman. And a little bit of a soft touch, and Bukazi forced to come forward. Chicago able to hold possession, and Waterman wants the safety of Chris Brady. Elliott. Acres of space now. To Dean. Thought about a cross. Blood instead. Zinkernagel has a few options. Neal has to go down to head that one away and keep it away from Hugo Kuipers.
Good clearance from Neal. That's what he needs to do first and foremost, is defend well. And then they'll try to find a way to build out from the back.
Pineda. Elliott holds Zinkernagel.
And the importance of scoring that first goal as well. It puts the impetus on Montreal to have to play, although Bukazi giving it away there in a bad area.
Owusu, 3v3 here. Montreal looking to find some offense. Jaime. Can't find his striker. Now takes it himself, and what a save by Brady.
Good effort. Good effort from Jaime. And really the best chance of the game for Montreal. 44 minutes in, comes on the giveaway from the Chicago center back.
Bukazi, there you go.
Look at it. Knew that could be a trouble all day long, but going into traffic and away they went the other way. And a stinging shot, well turned over by Chris Brady.
Jaime after that, into the corner. That was with his left foot. This is his right. And into the awaiting arms of Brady. But it's a shot, and it's a shot on goal, and that is the first for Montreal. Unfortunately for them, it's in the 45th minute. Look at the XG there.
And it's something that Greg Berhalter will probably say, let's not wander into areas where they're setting up traps defensively. That's their only way home, is through that transition right now. They haven't been able to build Montreal through the lines and threaten the Chicago defense in any way.
Turi dueling with Radojevic. Chicago stays with possession. 4 minutes of stoppage time here. Bukazi. Over to his keeper. Elliott sees no options. Brady once more. Wanted to find Radojevic, given away. Carmona over the top. Jaime had to receive it perfectly. He does. Chases it back. Tucking that back post. Nobody there on his cutback, though. Longstaff looked and hoped the teammate was going to be there. Dismayed when he found no one.
Well, when things aren't going well in the build and they haven't been able to create anything, one way to turn the ball over and be close to the opponent's goal is to win it through high pressure. And they're able to get it back here. Good dribbling from Ivan Jaime, but he kind of just makes his way through the traffic without really threatening. He's on a bad angle, going away from goal, cuts it all the way back without any power, no precision, and another let off for Chicago.
Skating off the head of Piet. Laturi able to settle. This ball over the top for Carmona. Duels with Mbakazi down the right corner. Carmona can't get around the young South African defender. So solid. And it's off of Piet, so it stays with Chicago to boot. Solid defending by Mbakazi so far in this opening half. The 20-year-old South African who most think is a shoo-in out of the World Cup squad.
He's got offensive ability as well. We've seen him hit crackers for South Africa. Top corner against Panama in a recent game. I think for sure he'll be on that South African team, Mbakazi, and very strong, first and foremost, defensively.
Longstaff trying to get it back now from Carmona. Fouled from behind, and savvy move by Longstaff to go down there, knowing that close enough for a set piece here. Carmona thinking subtly about a quick restart, but he'll let everybody get set up along the 18-yard line there. Halfway through added time. It is Carmona. Popped up right at the spot. Flicked away by Zinkernagel. Carmona following up. He's tripped up just outside. And this one from a much more interesting spot now for CF Montreal.
And Haile Selassie a little flat-footed there as Carmona is able to get in front. And the Chicago winger takes down Carmona, and that leads to this free kick in the dying moments from a pretty dangerous spot just outside the area. Onto the left foot here. This would be probably the better option than the foot on the right side for Ivan Jaime. So Carmona, look for him. He's scored from this position already this year against New York Red Bull, right through the wall.
He can catch one. This should be interesting. One with 4 goals on the season. It's Carmona right on goal, and Brady does everything he can to punch it away.
That is a heavy strike for Carmona. He hits it so sweetly, but it's right at Brady, who takes no chances and pushes it away. Chris Brady, who I think has the best save of the year this year, the one he saved off Hani Mukhtar. This one right
even in
at
slow
him,
motion.
that is moving. Good save.
Right back defending is Chicago. Carmona again. And did not hit that one as sweetly, although popped up in defense towards goal again. Brady astute. And rises to make the final touch of this opening half. Otis Pazakos blows his whistle. And they had to be stout defenders near the end of that 45, but Chicago holds on to its 1-0 lead.
Yeah, a little flurry for Montreal right at the end, but Chicago in complete control of this game. They've got the goal through that man, Philip Zinkernagel. And it's Chicago with the edge in play right now, who look comfortable going in at the break.
A nicely executed game plan so far by Greg Berhalter's side as they outshoot Montreal 7-3. We'll get to all the stats coming up shortly. And watching the Clouds slowly make their way in here, looking to get this match in before the rains come. But 1-0 Chicago at the break. Back to summarize the opening 45 in a moment. play Price with Paul Dolan alongside. Here's what the opening 45 looked like in Montreal, giving up an early chance here.
Philip Zichernagel was integral to all the build for Chicago, whether it was Montreal turnovers leading back the other way or Philip Zichernagel driving through the heart of the Montreal defense. And then he scores the opening goal after that beautiful through ball for Victor Radojevic, centered by Haile Selassie. Montreal cannot contend with it, bounces off a couple of bodies, and it falls perfectly for Zichernagel, who clears everybody out of the way and then sweeps it home with some power into the corner beyond Thomas Gillier to give Chicago the lead.
And Montreal with over 50% of the possession, but their build just couldn't match the offensive threats of Chicago.
It wasn't until late in the half when Montreal had their first shot. That's a good turn there, hitting Jack Elliott. Jaime is able to get a stinging shot away, but it's cleared away by Chris Brady. And then this powerful drive from Ricky Carmona. Does that take a little deflection? Oh, it's all the way through. And lots of power behind it. That is such a tough one for the goalkeeper to have to contend with, but he does very well to clear it over.
Took everything out of Brady. He's no shrinking violet, is Mr. Brady. Look at the XG, almost 0.8 to 0.16 in favor of Chicago. The shots on target, greatly in their favor as well. But if you're going to let Montreal have the ball, they're going to get their chances, you'd think, in the second 45 as well. So it should be a lot of fun in the second half. Meanwhile, on April 22nd, being Earth Day, nearly 100 members of the Chicago Fire FC front office, well, they volunteered their time at Navarro Farm, a nonprofit located in the suburbs of Chicago. Navarro Farm was founded with the purpose of creating a place for individuals with special needs to participate in an agricultural experience. So front office staff members weeded the gardens, refurbished parts of the property, painted, and more throughout the day. Got it looking spick and span. For more, visit ChicagoFireFC.com/community. Looks spectacular after their hard work. Pretty spectacular opening half for Chicago as well. The hockey refs are on. There's a big hockey game in town as well today, but right now, all the efforts and focus on CF Montreal coming back versus Chicago. so far here at Stade Saputo. Crowd hoping that the rain stay away. And a look around at what's coming here in Major League Soccer. The Battle of New York, I'm sure, is on everybody's menu. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific to see that one. Meanwhile, the top two teams in the Western Conference, both taking on Texas. The Whitecaps, Supporters Shield leaders, they're into Houston, and FC Dallas is into San Jose as the nightcap match, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. The top performance is presented by Audi.
And this guy, he really does it in both ways, creating and scoring when needed. He scores his 5th goal of the season. This one was a driving run where he ends up getting a little wide and puts it just wide, but it was foreshadowing of things to come as he picks up the pieces here to score the go-ahead goal. His 5th goal of the season to go along with 5 assists, and that's 20 goals and 20 assists after the 15-15 performance last year. So he really has been a player that's done it at both sides.
So the good news for Chicago, well, you should mention that was the top performance presented by Audi, official automotive partner of Major League Soccer. He's going today. Philip Zinkernagel is everywhere and helping out across the pitch. He's going to want to add another goal contribution, though, to keep that Hugo Kuiper streak alive, though, of course.
You know what else he does? He's got the fastest type of service you've ever seen. He pings a pass as well. Great at switching the play. Beautiful crosser of the ball, as we saw for the goal last week. He is a player that can do pretty much anything for the Chicago Fire.
Well, get the snacks in. We're headed towards the second half when we come back. Chicago up a goal here at Stade Saputo in Montreal. Back inside a darkening Stade Saputo in Montreal. Prince Owusu and David Bougaï coming up with a game plan to get at least a goal against Chicago here in the second half. and get a result once more here in the Philippe Ulefroy era of CF Montreal soccer. The supporter kit brought to you by Walmart and a boisterous group there around the North Star Bell, of course, as they eagerly anticipate that leveling marker that they hope to come here. And this is a nice group of supporters behind that goal right now on a day where there's a huge hockey game coming up later, but you can do the double dip, so it's not like it really robbed from one particular group of fans. You can go to the soccer match and then head over to the hockey game, and I'm sure a lot of fans here will do just that in Montreal.
Nadia Longstaff comes from a ice hockey playing family back in England as well.
Can you believe it?
Supporter of the NHL team, but the Montreal Canadiens in a elimination game here tonight.
We're seeing a couple of substitutions here to begin this second half for Montreal. Brandon Craig is out there in the stead of Victor Latourie.
And Noah Streit as well on the far side. And Brandon Craig, normally a center back, playing in the middle of the park for Samuel Piette. Very good player on the ball, so we'll see what effect he might be able to have there. You see Noah Streit, who comes on for Latourie.
So a couple of Canadian Speedway here in Montreal for the likes of Craig and Streit. And not a bad idea by Philippe Ulefroy to just try to change the mix a little bit, because a little stagnant at times as we get going here in the second half, but it is Chicago on the attack. Dean hoisted up for Zinkernagel, tried the cross. It rattled around between the two of them, and the final call is a goal kick in the end in the favor of Montreal.
Assistant referee, I don't think he was overly certain of his decision.
That was not a lot of conviction there, no.
Fotis Bazakis leading the way there.
Neal pops one up for Owusu, and it's just a little heavy off the chest. Pineda for Zinkernagel. Back inside. Lod. Haile Selassie looking clinical right now with Chicago. Kuipers lets it get through. Zinkernagel can't pull the trigger. Pineda from a tough angle. Just got it inside the 6 before it's cleared.
When you talk about the little things that separate chance opportunities, Prince Owusu with a rather easy takedown on the chest. It bounces away, and quickly Chicago's inside the Montreal penalty area, trying to search out a shooting chance, but it's been sloppy for Montreal at every aspect of the game, and that's just another small part that all contributes to that level of ineffectiveness for Montreal through the first 46-7 minutes here.
Bit of a hopeful diagonal ball spilt, though, on that far side, forcing Brady to come out to concede the throw. Radojevic couldn't come up with it, so Montreal gifted possession. Craig sends that through everybody. Owusu tried to get there in time, but Mbakazi beats him to it.
And you can see that Chicago is a very well-drilled team. They've got good balance, even missing a couple of key players. I really like what Soletros has done this year in the middle of midfield. He's controlled games. He's found possession when need be, able to pick a pass every now and then as well. Very good defensively, but it's a much more stable performance today here from Chicago than we saw in a couple of games where they gave up 3 goals against Cincinnati and New York.
Longstaff, tight quarters. Petrasso hoped that Jaime was on the same page. He wasn't. Chicago hemmed into the corner here a little bit. That one does squeak out. So Petrasso bringing it back in quickly for Longstaff. Chip back for Brian Vera on his left foot, looking for Owusu. He let it get through. Nearly a perfect idea as Streit was there, but just beyond his reach. You wonder if Owusu should have stood up and tried to get ahead on it. Craig, Longstaff, through, Streit, taken down. A collision inside the box, and Fotis Bazakos is merely pointing to the corner. Nothing more.
And Victor Radojevic, he thinks he was fouled in that battle for the ball. He did a good job just prior to that, getting a little flick that took it away from the Montreal attacker down the right side. Now, Mbakazi and Radovic, they come together. Radojevic feeling that he was pushed over in that instance, but they'll have to defend the corner kick now from Montreal on the far side.
Carmona. That left-footed delivery towards the near post, punched away by Brady. He'll get a second chance. I've been going back post mostly, looking for Owusu, who had pushed forward that time, and Owusu staying there at the near post as well. Right to the middle. Again, parried away by Brady, but a foul inside the box on the keeper.
Good balls in, though, right on top of the keeper. Makes it difficult for Brady. He was fouled that time, according to Fotis Pazakos. Almost like a shot coming in. Obviously, Owusu is the man who is the target there.
So plenty of time to go here, just over 40 minutes, but the lone goal on the board belongs to the Chicago Fire, and time is a wasting, and they were at, what, 66.9 when we last checked on this, but with the time elapsing, now just below 70% win probability for the Fire. Brady telling everybody to get up. Still nursing that left leg, it appears, is the keeper, but able to plant. Sending it forward. Floated away on him a little bit. Haile Selassie and Kuipers were there. Had it for a moment. Now ahead for Owusu. And Mbakazi has tracked him down, though, as he has for much of the night. Ball inside. Wrestled away, and it's just a loud goal kick in the end. Carmona dicing through the box.
Good cover, too, from Joel Waterman from a central midfield position, tracking the runner there. Obviously has those defensive instincts to track back and help out defensively.
Kuipers dueling with Neal. Haile Selassie got it ahead to load for a moment. Craig coming back to help. Towards the touchline, Bugai sends it down the pitch. Neal down the right touchline. Strike. Cutting to the middle. Weaving his way to the edge of the box. Holds up. Craig fed it in and ejected by Elliott.
There's one thing you'd like to see from Noah Strait. He's got good 1v1 ability, but it's that final move, getting by the defender, that final ball in that sometimes is lacking.
The guy has hit the pass as he was off balance. Neal keep possession. Craig, a little bit of a heavy touch. Kuipers tries to win it, and it stays with Chicago as Kuipers was late to it anyhow.
He's been quiet, Kuipers, but that's his MO as well. He just gets in the spots where he can be dangerous. He knows that oftentimes his goals will come late, as they have on a couple of occasions this year, but still contributing, a very hard-working center forward as well for the team. And that, again, is part of this balance on the Chicago Fire, where every player works for each other.
And you have to think that he's contributing even when we don't see it, because he's just such a distraction for the opposition team, in this case Montreal, when they know he's lurking back there on such a heater.
You're absolutely right. He does take the attention of the center backs, and that can sometimes open up the space, as we saw for Zinkernagel. And for Robin Lod, he's had a quiet last, say, half an hour or so. He's pretty lively to start the game. See if he gets a few more touches as well. But again, Chicago not really, there's no onus on them to have to get forward quickly. Very much in control right now.
Loved his effort on Wednesday. He scores that goal in the pouring rain and then checks immediately out. That's my final touch.
That's right.
Good night, everyone.
Baskoff out.
Kuipers muscling that forward for Haile Selassie. Zinkernagel calling for it. Will he get it? Very in front. Now back the other way they go. Starting to open up just a bit. Strike. Able to find Jaime. Owusu's there. Can't feather the pass through. Owusu again on the second effort. Wide of the mark.
That was a good switch from Noah Strait. And speaking of him needing that final ball as well, it's the same for Van Jaime as he gets in a 2v1 situation after this good switch of play here from Streit. And you need to take advantage of this. He claims that there's a handball on Jack Elliott as the ball goes through. It rolls up, I think, along the side of Elliott. Jaime not following up on it. Owusu eventually does get the shooting chance. Kind of a half chance here, though, as he does well to get the toe to it to create the chance, but he puts it wide of goal. They just need a bit more, Montreal does, from Jaime. The goal contributions just have not been there as the offside flag goes up.
Kuipers running back to retrieve that. Quick restart. This ball's in play, and Craig has to be quick.
Yeah, a bit more urgency there from the goalkeeper, and he's a good leader out of the back. We've got the two youngest goalkeepers, bar Ranfurry and San Diego, playing in goal here tonight, 21 and 22 years of age. But Gillier trying to get his team going here, a bit more urgency.
As you mentioned off the top, yes, young and being leaned on by these two teams, not missing a minute at either of the keepers. And that one fell in nicely for Owusu. Owusu tried to use the outside of his foot, hits the defender, Mbakazi. And a corner kick here for Montreal. Maybe a little bit of confidence here on the quick restart. Petrasso tries to feed it in. Cashed in for a corner.
He's got good offensive ability, Petrasso. When he gets involved in the play, he hasn't seen much in the offensive half today for Montreal, but creates his corner kick opportunity.
7th corner of the match for Montreal against just 1 for Chicago. They haven't needed it. Jaime. Curling, punched away by Brady that had eyes for the back of the goal. Petrasso sends it right back in. Hugai just dribbles towards Brady. Pinged out towards Kuipers. He's going to be challenged by Gillier. Nearly given away by the goalkeeper, but Montreal settles things down a little bit. Neal out wide now.
And Greg Berhalter was gesticulating wildly to Brady. We've got someone one-on-one, and the ball was just a little bit too straight from the kickout.
Owusu tapping that back, hoping for Streit. Trip there. Streit says, didn't mean that. Pineda a little bit battered and bruised today, isn't it? Clang of the shins as he went for a half-hearted challenge. Pineda no worse for wear. The matchday schedule is presented by AT&T, and not too far away from the next slate of matches getting underway. Galaxy looking to stun Seattle perhaps later on. RSL versus Colorado could be a good one as well. One off balance. Owusu onto his right wing. Was nudged out by the fire in Mbakazi. And the ball sort of tossed away by Mbakazi. And that was caught by Fotis Pazakos. The yellow card is issued.
Prince Owusu wanting to play that ball in quickly. That's the urgency level that they're trying to get to here. Not often that you get your center forward taking the throw in, but he does generate that yellow card for Mbakazi.
Strike inside the area. Now back out for Petrasso. Wide again. A misfire there from Streit. Craig whipped it in. Denied entry. Kuipers gives it back to Montreal though. I may had to hurry, being tracked down by Dean, and the foul caused.
Eric Jaime was in trouble there too with that touch, and Dean, if he's a little softer on the approach, here's the yellow card from before. Owusu trying to pick it up, and Mbakazi just saying, "Oh my God."
Bounces away from Owusu, and you know, who are we? 6 goals, 4 assists. Owusu's had a very nice season, but there's been a couple of receptions that have been a little clunky.
I think that's been kind of the theme for Montreal. Not enough that's been clean and in combination. There might be a pass here or there, but aside from that switch from Noah Streit a moment ago, they haven't really opened up the Chicago defense in any way.
Neal edging towards that center circle. Out wide for Streit. In flight. Desperation. Cutback. Owusu able to retrieve it. What does he do with it? Tried to whip it across for Petrasso. Can't make it work. Desperation defending here from Chicago, not looking very clean in their own right. Barreling forward. Jaime. Step over. Gets it back. Does he? No, it's cleared. Montreal can see some blood in the water here. Quick restarts every time, whether they're free kicks or throws. They want to take advantage of Chicago on its heels. Second ball's on the pitch here. We'll see if they blow play down. Officials unaware right now. Jaime helping clean it up. Doesn't want play stopped up. Gutman said to come on for Chicago to relieve Victor Radojevic. Wiki Carmona crossing that back just beyond Owusu, and a blind clear by Dean, taking no chances. It'll be a corner for Montreal.
Veteran in the back there, Dean, just taking no chances.
You don't often see the substitutions right on the corner, but Greg Berhalter wants Radojevic to take a seat, and the veteran Gutman.
Yeah, and I don't think you'll lose anything here with that veteran leadership that Gutman provides. But what a first debut, starting debut for Victor Radojevic. As he gets the hand there from a teammate.
Punched away by Brady, as that was curling towards goal, but the foul anyhow.
Chris Brady has dealt with those very well today. Those are tough balls. Every single ball that's been hit by Jaime right on top of the goalkeeper, body's in the way. And if he's not drawn the foul, he's been able to punch clear. Does both on that occasion, but he's really managing his area well here today.
And he's such a strong dude that those punches and parries are often very far away and doing their job.
The credit's a save that he made last year against Lionel Messi for giving him the confidence and the belief that he could play in this league. And we've seen time and again this season. I mentioned the save he made on Hani Mukhtar. Check it out if you haven't seen it against Nashville. I think it's the best save that any keeper has made in MLS this season.
Trosso won't get that to Owusu. Bakazi with the clear. Zinkernagle. Sweeping turn. Gutman, fresh legs for Chicago. And tackle from behind. Easy call to make for Fotis Bazakos.
And that will be an issue now for Montreal with Gutman on the park. Fresh legs, as you say. And the freedom to get a little bit further forward than Radojevic did as well. First and foremost, he'll be asked to defend a course, and he's good at that as well, but he's got the legs to get up and down that left side for Chicago and draws the free kick here.
Streit with the yellow card there. Gutman and Haile Selassie. The free kick from a decent spot here for Chicago. And Gutman an option here, along with Zinkernagle. And do you think the scoring streak of Hugo Kuipers is on the mind of the rest of the Fire right now at all here, or still results focused?
He says it's not on his mind. He's for the team. I believe that, but
back post, and just a little late there was Elliott making a run.
A long way to go still. I would not count him out ever at any point in any game.
And it was a trio of second half goals a few days ago in the comeback versus DC United. Vera pings a left-footed ball to Owusu, lays that off perfectly on the first touch to Wiki Carmona. Strike on the right foot, behind everyone. Elliott parries it away. Bugatti. And it back from Strike, weaving his way around the Chicago defenders.
Defensive transition is something that Greg Berhalter wanted his team to improve on over that run of games where they were allowing a lot of goals, and they're very quick to get back here again on almost every occasion here tonight.
Longstaff with a nice touch. Jaime on the left foot. Makazi a little bit clumsy, but able to get it across the byline, conceding the corner nonetheless. Had a little chuckle to himself there as he ended up on his keister, but we can go back to that yellow card from a few moments ago. Brandon Craig somehow in the build-up to the tackle, I guess, by Strike, who eventually took down Zinkernagle. Tug that got detected. From outside, deflected over the bar.
What a save. Chris Brady once again. That is so difficult. Through traffic with a deflection. Gets the right arm up. That had a lot behind it from Strike.
Fought it off. Back towards goal again. Now sent outside the area. Longstaff a little bit hopeful on the first touch. Brady again! What a strike! But very quickly, Chris Brady is stealing the show here.
Yeah, the chances of Montreal have been kind of few and far between. At the end of the first half, 2 in succession here.
Ball still alive. A good clear by Elliott this time, Vera. Heads that down into touch. Vera wanted better of himself on that one.
Well, here's Chris Brady when called into action. That's a second opportunity. Vera, he has such a heavy strike when it comes to him. Never afraid to have a crack. And in fairness, he'll probably feel that that was the easier of the 2 saves. The one beforehand through the traffic that he had to stick the right arm out for, even more difficult.
I know it's a cliche, but Brian Vera is an only bangers guy. Like when he scores, they are heavy cannons. And nearly got another one of those. Zinkernagle now, weaving his way through. There's Kuipers. Is it a goal? We heard a whistle, but that one came from the crowd. Kuipers keeps the streak alive.
And you had any question about whether he would get himself on the score sheet today. Terrific finish, but again, it's another good driving run from Philip Zinkernagle, who sets Kuipers free with a perfect touch at the perfect time. And then the man who knows the inside of a penalty area better than anyone in MLS these days, Hugo Kuipers, draws it across the goalkeeper, Gillier, into the far corner, and that doubles the advantage. Well-timed run as well, as he gets in behind Vera there. Frustration on the behalf of the Montreal players who are caught out with that quick break, but executed perfectly, first from Zinkernagle with the pass, and then from Kuipers with that finish. 10 goals now in 13 games. 10 goals in 10 consecutive games for Hugo Kuipers.
Haile Selassie and Philip Zinkernagle seed way here. As Dite Jean enters the match, as does Chris Mueller. Such a nice spell of play from Montreal. One great moment from Chicago from one great goal scorer. And Kuipers has done it with his 13th of the season.
And the value of every player doing their part in this game. The goalkeeper, of course, Chris Brady, playing a big part of keeping it at 1-0 for Chicago with back-to-back superb saves. As you say, Montreal were mounting pressure. And you'll see what this does now to the confidence of this young group. And conversely, what it does for Chicago is they can sit a little deeper now, a little more compact, and make it difficult for Montreal to try to break through.
Owusu a step ahead. He's offside. So a 10-match goal scoring streak now for Hugo Kuipers edging oh so close to number 2 all-time. He's past Diego Valeri and Joseph Martinez. Carlos Vela is next at 11 as we look at the substitutes coming on. Puso Diteja.
Watch out for him as well. What a time to bring him on, especially if Montreal is caught up the field. An electric player down that left side, Diteja. And good to see Chris Mueller back from injury as well. Not some minutes in the last game. Getting a good 20 plus here to finish out in Montreal.
Seeing some frustration here from the CF Montreal players. This is some adversity that they have not had a lot of under Philippe Ulefoy. Good turn there by Dean. Load wide for Gutman. Diteja slides it forward for Gutman. A little heavy in the cutback. Was past the byline.
That's what you'll see from Andrew Gutman, right inside the area. Underlapping at times as well when Diteja is wider.
Montreal tries to shake themselves off. There's still 20-odd minutes left in this match. They do have time here, Dolly, but they have to pick themselves up a little bit. Gutman pushes that one out for strike. Chip to the back line. Neal across to Vera. Neal to retrieve. Bugai. Back to Neal. And that comfortable block is set again by the Fire. Jaime tries a turn. Gets the pass away to Petrasso. Ball there by Mueller. Longstaff now. Vera. Pings in a ball. Owusu was prowling, but Mbakazi has just been an eraser for Prince Owusu.
That's an excellent challenge from Mbakazi because that's a good ball from Vera as well. On a rope, not too floated.
Longstaff will try again. Back post once more. But a foul inside the area, and is it a booking as well? Spazakos says accumulation from Owusu, and it's a yellow card.
It's been a tough game for Prince Owusu. Mbakazi's done very well 1v1, and in other situations, Jack Elliott has held firm as well. Defensively, this is the stability that Greg Berhalter was looking for. Make it difficult for the opponent, get behind the ball quickly. Montreal struggles to break teams down, and in particular, this very solid setup from Chicago here today.
Daniel Rios set to come on, and he's the other red-hot goal scorer right now on the pitch, albeit a modest 3-match goal scoring streak for Rios across all competitions.
And you wonder if he'll be a like-for-like replacement for Owusu or whether he'll join. I think that's what we'll see is the 2 strikers up top.
Sounds like it's going to be for Wiki Carmona, I believe.
And Philippe Ulefoy, he spoke to us yesterday about the possibility of putting the 2 strikers side by side rather than in a replacement situation. And they need that. They need goal-scoring threat right now.
Make it official. It is for Carmona, indeed.
And he had some moments, Carmona, but not enough impact on the game. He and Jaime in wide positions, not enough service to them to create from those wide areas.
Rios trots on with just substitute appearances and 1 start under his belt for this season. 1 start, 9 appearances in total. This is 10th. Gutman looking for Kuipers. Finds him, headed down nicely. On the first touch, the save, stopped again is Mueller. Thomas Chillier keeps CF Montreal in the match. Kuipers nearly bagged a quick brace here, instead Saputo. He's going on another run. He thought he'd get service. He has to curl back, though. He's offside for now.
Not unfamiliar. He's scored a couple of goals in multiple games this year. What a ball in from Gutman, by the way.
Mueller cutting inside. And Craig rattles that off the fire player. It'll be a throw.
Thomas Gillier keeping himself in the game.
This exclusive Netcam replay brought to you by AT&T. And here's Gillier doing just that.
He makes a double save. First down to his right there. He's quick to get back up, too. And snuff out the second opportunity. Within striking distance. Still over 15 minutes to play.
Gutman knocks it down. And Waterman heaves it out for Gillier. We may have to stay in that advanced position, allow the Montreal players to push forward. Yeah, time not a fierce enemy right now, but they should get that first one if they have any plans on a result here. A little bit sloppy on stride as he dribbled into the right channel. Look at the run by Detejean. Gillier has to be aware. Well, to get up to that one, Elliott spilled it a little bit. Jaime back for Petrasso. Longstaff has some space. Craig with him. Back for Bugaj. Rios. Popping it out, hoping for Jaime. Dealt with by Mueller, and it'll stay as a deep Montreal throw in the offensive half. Past 75 minutes here at Stade Saputo. Petrasso. Rios lost it. Chance to clear here for Pineda. Waterman across for Gutman. Detejean. Stripped of the ball. Rios looking at his options. Longstaff from distance rattles one. It is Jaime! Just wide. Brady had it covered, and the flag was up anyhow on about Jaime's attempt.
Matty Longstaff, he can hit a ball from outside the area. Tries to open up the angle to take that shot. Eventually lets go, and it's deflected. Jaime, though, just in behind. And if he'd been able to hold his line here, yeah, you can see him certainly leaking in behind him, Mbakazi there, and then rather than using the outside of the foot to play it across for Rios, tries to poke it towards goal just out of reach.
And a bunch of matches, of course, still to go. The MLS schedule today. A Saturday showdown to remember, the Battle of New York. Moments away. See if it's red or blue in the Big Apple. Longstaff. Through ball for Petrasso, cutting it back. Stopped by the sprawling Jack Elliott.
Excellent defending from Elliott. Senses the danger, covers across, gets the block in.
Urgency from Longstaff to get things restarted. Jaime curling it towards the spot, still loose inside the box. Popped up by Kuipers. Headed towards goal. Chicago's team in front of their keeper and blocking everything, and that one sprayed well high and wide.
Brandon Craig moving up into a central midfield position, typically a center back. Very good on the ball, though. One of the best set piece takers on CF Montreal in the limited minutes that he played last year. But he gets that one all wrong. And more time ticking off the clock. Chicago is trying to weather this storm a little bit, but they are keeping CF Montreal for the most part at bay.
Kuipers ahead for Lod. Montreal turns it over. Rios leading the charge. Owusu going for a scamper towards goal, but Rios is in trouble. Can he turn on Dean? Dean holds him down. Pineda. Waterman. The walls converge on him, but suffers the foul professionally. Kuipers puts that into open space for Gutman. Gutman. Detejean. Dejean whipping that in towards Lod, but cleared away. It's a rare corner for Chicago. And Mueller will make his way towards the corner.
No rush now for Mueller. Chicago did score a corner kick goal from this exact spot last year in this game. Jack Elliott getting his head to it. Always a threat coming up for these set pieces.
The in-swinger from Mueller. Right at the edges, Elliott, and they put it towards the post. Punched away now by Julien. Mueller, second effort. Headed away by Petrasso. And that one jumped up and hit the arm of Dejean. Longstaff pushes him over. Wanted to get restarted. Fotis Pazakos didn't have time for it. Ivan Jaime. Petrasso on the overlap. Petrasso back post towards Owusu. It never arrived. Desperation defending by Waterman. Bugai curling towards the back post, but Chicago's got a red fence set up at the edge of the 6. Vera. Longstaff out to Neal. Vera again. Going to have to be some creativity by Montreal to penetrate here. Strike. Holds up. Bought himself some room. Bugai now looking for Longstaff. Cleared. Craig. And that one might have been overcooked. Saved for a moment, but well off target.
They're getting a lot of bodies centrally. Defensively, Chicago. They're almost inviting the crosses to come in. The pressure on the taker of the balls coming from wide areas isn't that tight, but there's so many bodies centrally. And when you've got Jack Elliott back there to clear the danger, he really has patrolled that area nicely.
Philippe Lefoy, you saw there moments ago, just looking for answers here. Looking at his staff for a way out of this 2-goal deficit. Kuipers looking at forward a little bit. The back down by Mueller gets called as a foul. Longstaff. A handball in the end, pardon me. Bugai. Held up by Dejean. Neal. Vera to Longstaff. They switch over to Bugai. Rios. Overlapping run by Bugai. Really have room to cut it back. Now get some space. Helped by Mbakaze though. And the South African just wins the ball. Kuipers cut down. And Vera now in the books as well.
Bit of a cynical challenge there for Vera. He knows that if Kuipers was able to turn the corner, he was away. How about the speed, too, of Dejean to cover back against Bugai. And then the two South Africans surround Bugai, not able to get that ball in. Great first touch here from Kuipers to get away from Vera.
With that momentum, you're right. If he skips over that leg, the gaudy totals would continue. Mention Carlos Vela's next on the hit list at 11 goals, 15 for Joseph Martinez. It's crazy.
It is. And the number of goals he scored in those consecutive games.
21 goals in those 15 games for Joseph Martinez. I mean, it's almost golden boot worthy just in those 15 matches, never mind the other 19 you'd have to work with. Back the other way, Lod. Dejean cutting in to the channel, takes the shot, and that one had eyes, but just over the bar.
You get the sense sometimes it's a bit feast or famine with this type of young player coming in. He has one-way boots in some aspects to get forward, but he did defend well on that last play that I spoke about. But he's given the ball away a couple of times as well that have led to Montreal transitions, but he opens up the space there to get that shooting chance away. And he just can't keep it down and low and on target. But we have seen a couple of chances from him this year where he has hit the target, cleared off the line in one game.
Owusu's had a devil of a time with the offside flag. Elliott swings the ball up high, headed down there by Mueller. Converged upon by a pair of defenders into open space. Strike, look at that speed. Koopman now joins him and able to angle him away from Mbakazi.
You love how calm and on the ball he is, Mbakazi. He's got a veteran presence back there for a 20-year-old.
He's fun to watch. Getting a little bit chippy here near the end of the match. Substitution coming here for Montreal. Kennedy Sinchuk will take off Luca Petrasso, but the best assist of the match is presented by Lowe's. Our members score more. And we go right back to the opener.
I've talked about this goal ad nauseum. I love that ball from Radojevic. It sets the tone for the game. It sets the tone for his performance as well, making his debut as a starter. Curls it around the defender. And it means that Haile Selassie doesn't have to take a touch. He can hit it first time into the area. And then the follow-up from Zinkernagel.
Owusu will give chase. It won't skip enough. There's a bit of moisture in the air here now with rain ahead this evening, and you can sense that the pitch is maybe a little bit slicker. And that one just skipped quite easily across the byline into the 86th minute. And everybody's been praising the CF Montreal attitude. And swagger might be overstated at 4 wins and 7 losses. Nothing to be too full of confidence, but just a more hopeful attitude around CF Montreal of late. But they've been knocked down here a couple of times. I'm sure that Philippe Ulefort would love to see a bit of pride here at the end of the match.
He talked, Philippe Ulefort did, more about building a team, not necessarily just for the long term, but it isn't just about the wins and losses just yet. Of course, that's what professional soccer is all about. But he sees such high potential in a lot of these young players, like a Noah Streit is one that he mentioned, who's just come on here, and how he can build those players. Genuine excitement is what I felt when we spoke to him yesterday.
Mueller's pass blocked. Lod tried a little cheeky back heel that goes awry. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is almost here, and you have the chance to secure your spot today with a single-match hospitality package. That's premium suites and suites. You got your elevated food and beverages. You got your exclusive entertainment and much more. Book today at FIFAWorldCup.com/hospitality. Rios. Good guy. Sent that to the edge of the 6th. It's bungled a little bit, and Montreal will say thank you very much. And I mean, that was Kennedy Sinchuk with his first touch down that right side, and he'll trot in there for the corner kick as well. Sinchuk whipping the low driving ball. Strike back to Sinchuk.
It's a couple of times today that Montreal's tried to put the ball on top of the goalkeeper as much as they can, and a couple of times they've gone near post, but there's no players there to flick it on. So it's easy to clear.
Wide for Neal. Strike. Taking all the way across. Rios trying to touch it back to him. The foul is called, and a free kick from just outside the box here for Montreal.
Yeah, and I think this is where Brandon Craig might line up over, although the designated player, Ivan Jaime, is picking it up. They want to get on the score sheet. Craig is going to go over and have a word. Maybe he can convince him that, hey, this is an area where I've been pretty good. And in fact, he took a free kick in the game last year against Chris Brady, and Brady made a great save off of that one as well. Seems to like coming, the Stade Saputo does Chris Brady.
So who makes the call here? Jaime's hardly been prolific. He's got a goal on the year, but it's also a center back asking him to scoot over.
Yes, center back sub who's come on as a central midfielder. But I think you want to see your so-called best players, who more is expected of, take on the responsibility.
DT Jean, by the way, is slow to get back to the line there. He goes into the book.
I find that this position is a little more difficult, though, to get on target than the ones that are a bit further out, that have time to come down and maybe bounce in front of the keeper. This will be right on goal.
The very best make this work, getting it up and down, or you go right through the wall. Jaime it is, can't bust it through. Back up for Bugai. And he's blocked as well off the back of Umakaze.
Should have been Brandon Craig. It's difficult. Lots of bodies in the way. It doesn't hit the wall, though. It's another player standing to the side there.
Sinchuk, stinging ball over Bugai. Sinchuk cutting in, tries another shot, Pineda in front of that one. Rios lets it drop down, and Jaime cannot catch up to it. It'll be a Chicago throw in the 90th minute here at Stade Saputo.
A lot of talk about Chicago being kind of a dark horse for certainly a top four spot in the East, and that's where they'll sit after they win this game here, as it looks like they will. There was a bit of a sticky patch when they were conceding more goals than they should have, even though for the most part in those games they were in control with some defensive mistakes. But I think Greg Berhalter will be very pleased with this performance, albeit against a team that's not in the upper tier of the Eastern Conference.
And just 4 minutes of added time. Vera took some contact. Told you about the All-Star game earlier. Well, voting is now underway. You don't want to miss out on that. Be able to have some agency on who's taking part on the game. MLSsoccer.com/ASG vote. Deschamps was 1v3. Didn't win it, but now Gutmann tried to skip that over for Mueller. Doesn't work. We'll get a second bite at it here. Blood sends him into space. Mueller on the scoop. Cleared away by Neal. Jaime battling to stay with possession. Dean to Lod. Will dribble out of the corner and waste some time. Tucked over for a corner kick here for Chicago. And this is eating away at the clock just as they would hope.
Very professional performance from the roadside. Very comfortable away from Soldier Field over the course of the last 2 seasons.
Chicago's not done with Canada just yet. They'll welcome Toronto into Chicago for their final match before the World Cup break. That one turns into a goal kick. Yes, Fotis Pazakos agrees with the player's assertion. Skip past Kuipers. And maybe Kuipers isn't done with Canada either. Charging towards the box. Hugo Kuipers. Is there another one? Kuipers cutting it. Just missed the post.
It just got away from him. He had the angle, and then it just trickled out of reach. And he was always stretching in the end. But he creates this chance here by getting by Neal rather easily. Little slip from Neal. And it was right there that his last touch just a little wide. And it meant he didn't get the power nor the direction on that last touch.
Goals already for Hugo Kuipers. What a start to the season. Waterman. Deschamps. Looking for Kuipers. Will he beat Gillier there? He won't. It was close, though. Final minute of added time here in Montreal. It is getting slick. Mueller hits the deck. Rios, he's far out of his office. Neal. Sinchuk on the left foot, hoisting it up. Rios is there! Another save by Brady! This should not be a clean sheet for Chris Brady, but it appears headed in that direction.
He's doing absolutely everything he can to keep it at nil. Another fine save from in close. Good power in the end, too, as it comes off Rios.
Oh, that one nearly an own goal. That might be the only way to beat Brady at this point.
Quickly taken.
That one quickly. A poor change of a corner to a throw here for Montreal. Must be the final moment of the match. Longstaff, one last go towards goal. This should be a clear, and there goes the whistle. And this match is over. Chicago wins it 2-0. Greg Berhalter's side once again getting all 3 points on the road and taking down a warming CF Montreal squad here at Stade Saputo.
And back-to-back wins now away from Soldier Field in pretty comprehensive fashion, winning by 2 goals again here today. Very patient to start the game. They took their chance when they got it.
Montreal 0, Chicago 5, Josh. Montreal 0. Montreal 0, Chicago 5, Josh. Vamos, vamos, Chicago. Chicago gana. Chicago gana. Chicago win. Montreal 0. Goal Chicago fire. Philip Incarnator. Hugo Troopers. Full time. Montreal 0, Chicago 2. terminado.